Good morning once again. I will be discussing the impact of UHI on the water and electricity consumption in Mandaue City. We are thankful to Mandaue City LGU. With their assistance, we were able to acquire electricity consumption from VECO and water consumption from MCWD. I'll be discussing these topics in this presentation. In this section, I will show you the key findings on the relationship between UHI and water consumption in Mandaue City. With the increasing surface and air temperatures in metropolitan cities, the residents on those areas tend to feel uncomfortable or have reduced thermal comfort. In response to feeling warmer or hotter, people tend to drink more or bathe more, thus increasing their water consumption. Here are some key researches that focus on the relationship between water consumption and UHI. In this study by Enriquez and colleagues, it was found out that warmer barangays in Zamboanga City have higher water consumption and higher demand for water. And also for these two remaining studies, they show a positive relationship between water consumption and UHI. This is the methodology and data used in this study. First is data acquisition, then processing in QGIS and Excel, and analyze in QGIS and R software. When we plot the relationship between LST and water consumption data, based on the correlation coefficient of 0.16, which is really low, it can be said that there is no relationship between water consumption and LST. Now, these are sample maps, barangay level LST map on the left, water consumption map on the right. It can be observed that there are certain areas that could have a positive relationship between LST and water consumption. For example, Barangay Casili has low LST and also has low water consumption, while Barangay Subang Dako has high LST and also high water consumption. Upon closer inspection on the barangay level, we found out that Barangay Tipolo has the highest correlation coefficient of 0.45 compared to the other barangays. However, a weak relationship was observed between water consumption and LST. In Barangay Tipolo, the water consumption and LST exhibit a similar temporal pattern during the months of July to December. In this section, I'll be discussing the relationship between UHI and electricity consumption in Mandaue City. Again, with the increasing surface and air temperatures in metropolitan cities, the residents tend to feel uncomfortable or have reduced thermal comfort. In response to feeling warmer or hotter, people tend to turn on their electric fans and air conditioning systems, thus increasing their electricity consumption. Here are some key researches that focus on the relationship between electricity consumption and UHI. In this study by Liao and colleagues, it was found out that energy consumption has a significantly positive correlation with nighttime UHI. They also noted that anthropogenic heat released from energy consumption is an important contributor to the urban thermal environment. This is the methodology and data used in the study. First is data acquisition, followed by processing in QGIS and Excel, and analysis in QGIS and R software. Through plotting the relationship between LST and electricity consumption per barangay, it was found out that there is no relationship between electricity consumption and LST, based on the correlation coefficient of 0.11, which is really low. However, as you have noticed here, these are from Barangay Tipolo. Upon closer inspection of Barangay Tipolo, we found out that it has a high correlation coefficient of 0.69, meaning that there is a strong relationship between LST and electricity consumption in Barangay Tipolo. Here are sample maps. Again, barangay level LST map on the left, electricity consumption map on the right. It can be observed that there are certain areas that could have a positive relationship between LST and electricity consumption. Again, Barangay Tipolo has high LST and also high electricity consumption. For further analysis, the LST data was processed to produce the UHI index values for each barangay. But still, there is no relationship between electricity consumption and UHI index based on the correlation coefficient of 0.15, which is really low. Upon closer inspection on the barangay level, we found out that Barangay Ibabaw Estancia has the highest correlation coefficient compared to the other barangays, which is 0.68. A strong relationship, a strong positive relationship between UHI index and electricity consumption was observed in Barangay Ibabaw Estancia. Electricity consumption and UHI index in Ibabaw Estancia exhibit a similar temporal pattern during the months of May to August. To summarize the study, here are the key findings and our recommendation based on the research. First, no relationship was observed between LSD and water consumption. Also, no relationship was observed between LSD and electricity consumption. However, positive relationships were observed in the barangay level analysis. These are our recommendations. To continue spatiotemporal analysis of LST in relation to water consumption and electricity consumption, to continue monitoring the LST in Mandaue City using remote sensing data from Landsat 8, and also to continue data acquisition of water and energy consumption data in Mandaue City. This marks the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.